Hi and welcome to Quickfire Questions with PPT, with me, Pistol Pete. So this is the section of PPT where I answer questions that are being sent in. These are questions that aren't related into any specific direction, so it could be helping someone in sales, their life, fitness, finances. It's any type of questions that you send in that I feel doesn't fit into another category. I'll be dropping it into this section of Quickfire Questions. So today we'll be answering a question sent in by Christy. This person is over in Australia and they asked, how can you control your inner voice? So it's actually a very wide question, and the answer unfortunately that I'd have to give is you're going to have to watch a lot more PPT episodes to fully understand and control your inner voice, because there's so many different ways that you can. But the one true way, which leads to obviously have to understand a lot, is that you need to understand your brain. Once you understand your brain and the tricks of the brain, that's when you can start controlling your inner voice. But to be able to do that, you have to know as many different tricks and as many different analogies and stories and different ways. So all I can say is read as much as possible, obviously listen to as much as possible, watch as much as possible from people that are doing it in a high position that have great attitudes, and you'll just naturally learn off them. But a good way, just so I don't just leave you with that very vague answer, is just read a lot, watch more of my episodes, please. I'm going to just give you a little bit of an understanding of how a negative attitude can obviously take effect in the brain. So when it's controlling your inner voice, I talked about in episode, I think it was episode 3 of PPT's First Steps on the YouTube channel, that there's always two playlists. It's like a DJ's deck in your brain. There's always two playlists going. One's positive and one's negative. And these are your inner voices that are coming out. Firstly, to understand that these inner voices that are being put into your head, they're not actually you. They're someone else's voices that have been put inside your head. Because as we grow, we have all this influence from outside people, family, friends, TV, news, blah, blah, blah. And that actually kind of dictates our beliefs. Because when you're a young person, you don't know what is. You get taught and you learn through social learning. And that's how our inner voice is created. So if you've got any negative on your negative playlist, obviously your positive playlist, who gives a shit who put it in there? That is you. That is the positive side of you. That's what you want to become. The negative playlist, when that comes out, that isn't the real you. That's someone else's voice that's been put inside your head. So you shouldn't be listening to that anyway. As soon as you hear it, don't feel bad that that's the true you. That's someone else's voice. But secondly, when we talk about that, it's when someone hears the negative playlist and they have that negative thought or those doubts or any of that type of negativity, what they normally do is they know that they shouldn't be having those thoughts, and they get annoyed and frustrated by it, and all that does is feed more of the negativity. All that does is turn that playlist louder. What it's about, obviously we're always going to have positive and negative. Myself, I still have negative thoughts crop up, but what it is understanding that it's catching the negative thought that actually kind of stops the problem from the get-go. Not just having the thought doesn't make the difference, it's stopping it. So if you view our brain as a glass of clear water that's full, so we've got a glass of clear water, and what happens is I've got a little pipette of coloured solution, blue coloured solution, and that's the negativity. If I have a negative thought, the thought is like you're squeezing the top of that pipette so a little drop falls out. Now when you've had the thought and the negativity's come out, that's not a problem at the moment. But as it drops further and further, if you don't catch it or stop it, it'll go into the water and then it will pollute that clear water into coloured water. Obviously it colours it, and that then ruins all that positivity that's in that water, and it makes your brain negative, and that's where negative thoughts are a problem. But if you squeeze it and the negative thought comes out, what you do is, by controlling your inner voice, by catching that negative thought, understanding it, and as soon as you hear it, catching it, what you do is it's as if you're putting a hand over the top and the droplet just hits the hand, and it means that it doesn't go into the water solution, and that's problem solved already. A lot of the times it's the untapped of the negativity where we don't control it. It pollutes then obviously our positivity, and that's when it becomes a problem. But having a negative thought isn't a problem. Fuck, we all have them. But it's just catching it and understanding what your negative thought patterns are. So the next time you have some of these negative thoughts, catch them before obviously they pollute the water, and then make a little note to yourself, or a mental note, or even a physical note if you need to, of what that negative thought was. And it means then that you're a little bit more on guard, so the next time your brain has that thought, you can catch it before it actually pollutes the brain.